Dynamic performance. Sophisticated British style. MG Pilot Smart Speed Assist. The new standard in performance, style and safety. With so many impressive inclusions, this is value you've never seen before. The all-new MG HS, the SUV you've never seen before.
Welcome to Gibbo Goes One-on-One, driven by MG. My guest today is a former NBL Rookie of the Year. Went to the Australian Institute of Sport, played at college, NBA, and now the new recruit for Adelaide 36ers, Isaac Humphries. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Now, how's your time been in Adelaide so far? I know you've been there, I think, 3 or 4 months. You had to quarantine, I believe, for the first 2 weeks. How was that little period of time stuck in a room? I know our guys, they were stuck with windows that didn't open it, and it wasn't the best 2 weeks.
Well, Adelaide was kind of pretty good at that point. So they were letting us quarantine in our apartments, not hotels. So I was just at home, and I live at Henley Beach, pretty much on the beach. So I was laughing. Like it was a nice couple of weeks. I mean, I'd been working out a lot during the off season. Well, whatever we called that period. When we were in like lockdown or whatever, I was working out a ton in Sydney. So the 2 weeks was welcome, to be honest. I actually liked 2 weeks, and yeah, got a little break and got straight back into it as soon as I finished.
It was good to refresh and just have a bit of time off, I would imagine. I've talked to a few of you guys. I know you train a lot like we are as well. You guys just had that little semi-lockdown again for 3 or 4 days. That would have been good again, probably to get a few days away from the court just to hit the reset button in preseason again.
Yeah, it was good. But we actually had a break kind of planned that time anyway. So we it just coincidentally worked out that the lockdown was our break. So, but it's weird. Like, I mean, you would know, it's weird. People telling you to just stay inside and you can't leave. It's just a weird feeling. So, I don't know. We were all kind of confused by it all, and just we would have rather practiced. But oh well, it's all good.
I don't know about yourself. I don't go out and do too much stuff outside of. I normally like to come home and just put my legs up. But when someone tells you that you have to stay there, it's a lot different than they're just doing it yourself, right?
100%. I spend most of my time at home by myself or with the boys, like just chilling. And quarantine, that lockdown's kind of made for someone like me. Like I love being by myself. Like I said, I love it. But when it's forced on you like that, you just, I don't know, you kind of, so much of you wants to go outside and do as much as you can.
And how's the new team been? Obviously, Adelaide's had a real revamp, new coach, new systems, probably a whole bunch of new players, a few returning. How's your first few months been with your new team?
It's been really good. We gelled super quickly. We all kind of knew each other from various different things, and there was 1 degree of separation between a lot of us. So, yeah, we gelled really quick. We've been practicing a ton for a really long time as well. So we had no choice but to kind of come together and just, I don't know, do everything together. So, but that's what it's like. I mean, you get every new team you're on, you get 10 to 15 new best friends, and you just kind of learn to love each other and live with eeach other and do everything together. And this team specifically, we sort of do everything together on the court, and then all together off the court as well. We're very united. It's an awesome little team.
And you're able to play a couple of preseason games. I know Brisbane didn't have their full team, but to be able to get out in front of your new home crowd, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy for the season, the crowd there, they get right behind their team. But to have that crowd come out and play some actual games against a different team, that must have been good to get out there and have a little bit of a run around.
Yeah, that was sick. We really enjoyed that. Having a different opponent that wasn't us for the first time in months was awesome. And for a lot of us, it was the first time we'd played in, almost a year. So it was maybe not a year, but, like a long time. So it was a great hit out. We loved it. And I think it was just about figuring out where we are and how we'll be as a team and putting the pieces together. And it was a good sort of first indication of how it will all go. And I think we did a pretty good job as a team, and the whole weekend itself with the COVID tests and everything like that, how the NBL would go and stuff. I think we did a pretty good job, and yeah, it was a great weekend.
And I seen the celebrity, I think it was like a fundraiser with all the old school players, Brett Maher, Kevin Brooks, How fun was that to see those old guys come back? I'm sure the crowd there still would have loved seeing them run around and shoot some shots, but to be a part of that and to raise some money for that young boy as well.
Yeah, Cooper. It was for Cooper's leg. Because he had his leg amputated, and we're raising money for a new leg and stuff like that, so he can get out and play basketball more often. And it was kind of his return back from his surgery and all that stuff. So it was really cool, that side of it, as well as, you know, seeing Marzi hit a 3 from his logo, like on the court was awesome as well. Yeah, just kind of getting out there and having a bit of fun. And it kind of took the edge off a bit because we had those games that weekend right after. So it took that edge and the nerves off a bit, starting with a bit of fun and stuff like that. So it was good. It was for a great cause, and we all had a really good time.
And like I said before, you're really going to enjoy playing in front of that crowd, especially when you win the games, but they just get so behind it. Great crowd to play in front of. You mentioned you live in Henley Beach, and I know you said you like to stay at home, but have you been able to get out and see bits of Adelaide? I love my 4 years there. Super easy to get around. Like, it probably takes you 20 minutes to get anywhere, but down by the beach, and especially with summer coming up, you'll enjoy that. But have you been able to get around? And some wineries there are pretty cool, but have you seen much of the state yet?
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot. I've been down to Marion Bay, which is over on the peninsula over there. Went down to Port Wollonga last weekend. Been to the wineries, kind of seen all the beaches up and down the coast. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this group is really connected. So we all like to do things together, and we all kind of want to explore and do that sort of thing all the time. So I've surprisingly seen a lot of SA and Adelaide. And it's very underrated. It's beautiful here. People don't realize how nice it is here. So, yeah, I'll definitely keep this location in the memory for a long time.
That's awesome. Now you went to AIS like a lot of young, athletes. You went to prep school before obviously going to college. Was that like a study thing that you had to go and get your grades up, or why did you choose, or why did you go to, I think, somewhere in Indiana to go to prep school before your college started?
It wasn't anything to do with grades or anything like that. It was just, I just felt like it was time to kind of head over to the US and start that chapter of my life. I knew that I was going to go there eventually for college, but the situation that I was in, and I was a young kid, it just kind of felt right to go over early and get a head start on that American system and American culture. And yeah, I mean, I loved that experience too. I learned a lot in high school, that half a year to a year I was in high school. And then obviously I went to Kentucky right from there at 17, and the high school experience really prepared me for the culture shock of America, because it's very similar to Australia, but it's not as well. So people are different. We all think differently in different countries. It's weird. So it kind of took me a little bit to get used to it. And then it helped being thrown into such a massive environment at Kentucky. Having a bit of a head start really helped that.
How was your 2 years there? I talked to Jack White. Obviously, he went to Duke and playing at a big school. Kentucky's, right up there as well, massive school, playing in front of that crowd and stuff. But how were you? You got to be an American and live that life a little bit, but I guess starting out at a big school like that and your 2 years there. Yeah,
Kentucky's, I mean, it's an insane place. It's almost, you can't really describe it unless you're kind of amongst it. It's weird. Like, the fandom's crazy. Just the way you practice, like, everything's like NBA pretty much. So you essentially learn how to be a pro and how to be in the NBA from day one. And I was 17 when I went there. So getting used to being chased down the street by fans and having people like camp out the front of where we live to get autographs every day was weird for sure. It took a little bit of getting used to. But once you kind of get past the craziness that is Kentucky, you really learn a lot, and the coaches are amazing, and my basketball just kind of went in a whole new direction, and I learned so much from that experience. But yeah, I mean, shit, it feels like so long ago I was at Kentucky, but yeah, that experience totally changed and shaped who I am for sure, and how I attack basketball and how I go about my career now for sure.
Kentucky seemed to be I'm assuming not all schools are like Kentucky seem to have a lot of, one and dones and a lot of NBA draftees. And do you think it's more that school? I know there's probably a couple like it, more that school that are set up that way, more in NBA style to prepare kids to go straight away and get them used to it at a quicker rate?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. The whole system of one and done and coming in, cycling through, it's definitely a thing. And coming in and learning real discipline really quick and having to play with 10 other superstars, all that sort of thing is exactly what you have in the NBA. So it really prepares you almost immediately. But I was there for 2 years. So just double what the double what the one and dones get. But it's hard to explain Kentucky because it's a crazy world. It's just insane there.
And obviously some great teammates. I don't know them all, but obviously Jamal Murray is one that you got to play with, and you still keep in contact with those guys that have obviously moved on to the NBA, and obviously he's a superstar with the Nuggets, but just one teammate I've seen on your page. Do you keep in contact with them at all, still since obviously being gone for a while now?
Yeah, we all try to keep in contact as much as we can. Some of us were closer with others, obviously. Jamal and I were really good friends in college. We had a little group and we were great friends, and we've kept in contact a lot, and we spent a lot of time with each other in off season in LA and stuff like that, just when we were in the same city. So you do for sure make lifelong friends. We go through so much. I mean, you know what it's like. We all go through so much together. So you can't not have, like these lifelong relationships. Granted, we don't talk to each other every day. Like we can't. We have stuff going on all the time, but as a whole, the Kentucky fraternity is very strong. It's like everywhere you go, there's someone linked to Kentucky somehow.
You mentioned you got the 2-year experience at the one and dones. Is there some kind of pressure going to Kentucky that you feel like you have to, maybe enter the draft? Like, would you make the same decision again to enter the draft after 2 years? Obviously, knowing what's happened, obviously you didn't get drafted, but is there that added pressure because you're at that school and a lot of the guys do that? Or are there many athletes who stay for the full 4 years?
Not many, but there are some. I couldn't actually enter the draft my first year. I was too young. I think you had to be like 19 or something, and I was still 17 or 18. So I couldn't enter the draft my first year. Not that I would have, but in my second year, I knew I wasn't going to be drafted. It was in my mind time to leave college and start my pro career, knowing it probably wasn't going to be in the NBA. It was going to be in Europe or in Australia, which ended up happening. But my mindset was just, I've done 2 years now. Like I've got a lot out of it, and it's a crazy world. I just need to kind of regroup and refocus and kind of find myself again, because you'd lose a lot of who you are in that world. So that was kind of my mindset. People stay 4 years and graduate and go on to still play in the NBA. It's just different for everyone. A lot of people come to Kentucky with the goal of one and done and just straight up coming, getting the business done and leaving, and that's totally fine as well. That was never going to be my situation. I don't regret anything at all. If I had changed my mind, if I could change my decision, I probably would have stayed another year, to be honest. But I don't regret anything at all.
Yeah, for sure. You come to Sydney, you play with the Kings. Was Europe a strong chance? Obviously, I think you played in Serbia for 1 year maybe. But Sydney, to play back home in front of your home crowd and to do that, was that part of the reason why, or was that the best option at the time to come and play with the Kings?
Yeah, no, being home in Sydney and with my family and all that sort of collective stuff was definitely a big part of why I chose to come back to Australia. Europe was kind of the direction we were going, and Sydney came on board, and we just sort of evaluated it all, and it just made the most sense after how intense Kentucky was to just be at home and live with my mum again and like have her do my laundry or something, like just little things like that you forget about. I was 19, like I was a child. I needed to find myself again and figure out what was going on. So yeah, I think that move was awesome. I loved my time in Sydney. I had a great experience. It was a weird year for sure, but it was still a really good experience.
And obviously, Rookie of the Year, that must have been a pretty big honour a big achievement to, be a Rookie of the Year. Can't remember the Kings year. I know it was definitely up and down, but obviously to win that award is pretty special.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a weird year. We were up and down for sure. And to finish the year like that was really good. We kind of finally came together towards the end of that year and won like our last 6 games in a row or something. And then I got the award. So it just topped off a strange year, but it was still an awesome experience. And getting the award, it was definitely a goal of mine coming into the season. I wanted to win Rookie of the Year. I worked all year to kind of not get the award, but to prove myself as a rookie. And I was very proud of getting that award. It sits on my mum's mantle at home, and she loves it. So
that's unreal. It sounds like, obviously the college experience was pretty full on, like you said. Just obviously that's not for everyone. Just to, like you said, and being a younger kid, but yeah, to have that year back at home, back with family, a normal life, living normal. To win that award. And like you said, you don't play the game to win individual awards, but like you said, to show the work you've done and that you deserve it is probably why we all do it. How was Serbia playing in Europe? Obviously, it's a different lifestyle that people don't really understand when you play in Europe, that the trainings and the schedule and just everything about it is just whole almost 10-month seasons and depending on where you play. But how was your time over there?
It was that was another crazy experience as well. I went from the Kings straight to Serbia and did kind of finish the season out there. So I was only there for 3 months, I guess. But it was that, I was in Serbia, which is notorious for just practice all the time and yelling and intense stuff. I remember not my first, but kind of first couple of weeks there. I didn't really have a translator, so I never really knew what was going on the whole 3 months I was there. But this time at practice, you kind of tell because we showed up and I was just kind of getting ready for practice and half the team wasn't there. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And I don't know anything because I can't speak to anyone. And they showed up like 1 or 2 minutes late. And the coach literally made us run 45 suicides and practice was over. It was just 45 suicides. It took 2 hours and practice was finished because they were a minute late. And that was just the craziest example of Serbia. And that was the second practice of the day. Didn't care. It's just wild over there. Culturally, that was a cool experience, obviously. But yeah, it was that was a tough one actually. Getting through those couple of months was tough.
Well, I know you have tour days and stuff, but to just come in and just run for crazy, and no rules. Who's going to hold them accountable to
No, exactly.
No, there's no players association calling up the coach
right.
hey, you can't be doing that, right? It's just
no, whatever. Just run until you pass out, pretty much.
What's it like? Being in a timeout and him trying to draw up something or trying to tell you how to defensive schemes and just whatever. Were there other Americans or Aussies or anyone else that you could kind of just look at and try and let them tell you what was going on, or you just have to try and it?
There was 2 people that spoke English, and it was one was from Russia and it was super broken English, and one from Nigeria but had played in Florida, so he was pretty Americanized. But other than that, that was literally it. So in timeouts, I just kind of had to read the board and figure it out. And I did have the assistant coach was supposed to kind of talk to me about stuff, but in a game, the assistant coach is coaching and he's not coming over to tell me what's going on. So I just winged it literally and just relied on basketball rules. And I don't know, you kind of learn a lot about how much you know the game really in that situation. So that was interesting for sure. But, they're calling plays in Serbian. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what we're running right now. So it was a weird time, that's for sure.
I've always wondered what that would be like. We had a Japanese player with us in Brisbane and trying to explain him offenses and stuff. And I can imagine for him, it's the flip side where he just got no idea what the hell we're saying in English. But you just run around and he's in the wrong spot and you kind of get mad. But I understand that would be pretty hard to kind of handle. Yeah, I had some time in the NBA. Obviously, a bunch with some G League teams. How was summer leagues and stuff? How were they? Part of the summer league, and then obviously being a part of, I think the Hawks G League team, the Bay Hawks. How was that before obviously getting elevated to the actual team?
Yeah, the G League's a test. It really is. Like you really need to. It's a grind for sure. It's nothing pretty about it. It's not easy. You travel a lot. You train a lot. You go to random ass cities, and it's tough. But that absolutely shaped my NBA experience from then on. Because without Erie, without my time with the Bayhawks, it just wouldn't have happened. Because you learn so many fundamental basics and hard work, and it's not about glitz and glamour anymore. It's literally just about loving basketball and wanting to get better and just playing really hard and really well to get to that next level. And then I got my chance in the NBA, and that was my first taste of real NBA basketball. I'd obviously played in summer league and stuff like that, but I mean, I don't think that is any comparison to suiting up in a real game and like actually walking out there and playing literally the best players in the world. So that was awesome. I loved that experience. And then to be able to do it again the next year with Orlando and kind of just, it's strange. Like you get almost used to it, and you just you start knowing everyone and becoming friends with everyone, just like we do in the NBL. And you kind of become a part of that fraternity as well, and that group. And that was the cool part for me. Kind of starting to feel really comfortable in that environment was the cool part for me. Feeling like you belonged and actually being a part of it was awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to hopefully one day get back over there when the world's back to normal and when the opportunity arises. So yeah, I call upon my experiences in the NBA and the US all the time.
How was the first? Obviously, I'm assuming it was a goal for you to make the NBA. So obviously, the call up. I live with Creaky, and when he got the call up that he's actually making the main team, whatever, the call to find out he was going to be an NBA player, like absolutely loved it. As a goal of his, I would assume it was a goal of yours to make the NBA. Like, how was that experience finding out you were being elevated and playing in your first actual NBA game?
Yeah, it really is wild. I know, and Creaky and I were doing the same thing the same year. So we were playing each other. We were in the exact same position. So so he does know exactly kind of that process. But it's that call that you kind of wait for forever, and then when it actually happens, it's just you kind of black out. Honestly, like you just don't really. I didn't expect it. I was on my way to the airport to fly home to Australia. So I was packed up. I played a whole season. You go through the weird emotions of like packing up your whole apartment and leaving another team forever, like that weird last day after you've done so much. And I was on my way to the airport, and my agent called, and yeah, got the call up, and I was still going to the airport, and they just changed it all, and I went to Atlanta instead. So it was crazy.
Drop of a hat, you could be doing anything, like changing teams. Yeah. One night you either fly to a new team, or you could be playing a game. It's just that's how wild the NBA is.
Crazy. So, and actually arriving there and putting on my jersey and walking out for the first time was really cool. And we were playing the Spurs, so Paddy was there, and I got to guard, LaMarcus Aldridge, who's a great player. He's someone I've looked up to for a while and watched his game for ages. So to be able to play him was really cool. Scored my first bucket. Like that sort of thing is just, it sticks with you forever. So.
And I'm assuming your mum would have been pretty happy finding out that his son was going to play in an NBA game.
Yeah, she actually came. She came over. So she flew over and met me in San Antonio. And afterwards, I went out and saw her, and she just looked like she'd been crying the whole time. And she's like straight up. I just cried the whole time. I didn't know how else to react. So it's crazy. Like we work so hard and we do all this stuff, but we forget how much it impacts everyone else, what we do. And, there's so many other people that have helped us get to that moment. that moment's not just about you anymore. Like there's so many other people that you're doing that for. So it really put it into perspective for me.
I've got no doubt your mum probably took a photo of that first ever shot and put it up on the mantelpiece next to your Rookie of the Year trophy.
Next to the award. Next to the Rookie of the Year.
And obviously trying to get back there, like you said, when COVID's done, trying to get back there at some point. Would you go back to the G League if that's an option and then try and work your way back up again? Or is it solely just for, if it's an NBA team option, you would do that? What's your kind of thought process behind, trying to go back?
Yeah, I think I've done my time in the G League. I think 2 years was kind of our cutoff. It was let's do 2 years and see how we go. I unfortunately got injured my second year, so I was out pretty much the whole year and didn't really get a chance to do anything with that season. And then Corona happened, so I never even got to get any call-ups after the season. So yeah, the second year was a bit weird, but I think, yeah, like I said, I've done my time in the G League. I think it was very valuable. We all learn a lot from the G League. And my mindset is just to keep working and keep getting better to a point where I have a solid spot on a roster. And that's the goal.
You've had spent some time with the Australian team, junior stuff, I think under 16 Oceania, under 17 world champs. Also the Asia Cup in Kazakhstan. How is that playing for the Boomers, representing Australia? And obviously different kind of situations, but anytime you get to wear the green and gold for your country in the national team is a massive honor. So how was that and representing Australia?
That was really cool. Apart from, besides going to some of the most random places in the world, Kazakhstan and Iran, like who would have ever gone there? But apart from that, it's always an incredible experience putting the green and gold on. Really, it puts a lot of things into perspective and how proud you are of your country. And that was a great group of guys over there. And you almost work, you work so hard in your professional career for your professional goals, but playing for the Boomers is always in the back of our heads. And we always want to play for the Boomers when we can. And I remember as a kid growing up playing for Australia was, still holds some of the best basketball memories that I have. So I love any opportunity I get to play for Australia, and I can't wait to continue that and put on the green and gold a bit more officially soon.
No doubt. Now, obviously, you're a talented basketballer, but you also have a lot of talent off the court. Singing something that you love to do and are very good at. Where did you find the passion for that? Was it at a younger age? Have you always sung and you play the piano or the keyboard or where did that kind of come from?
Yeah, I was a pretty musical kid. That was weird. I was a pretty musical kid. So before I grew really tall, I just was into music and playing music and doing all that sort of thing. And then I grew super tall and tried basketball, and everything took a back seat because basketball just went crazy. And eventually I got to a point where I could juggle both. And now I have my music on the side, and I balance both. I record music when I can. I write when I can. I have a piano in the other room, and I just practice, every afternoon and just flush my brain a bit. It's something that has just been a release for me for so long, and it's something totally different than sport. It's very creative and uses a different section of your brain, and I just love it. It's something I just love to do, and it's just slowly getting bigger and bigger, which is awesome. And I don't know. I really don't know. People ask me about my music all the time, and to me, it's just something I've done forever, and it's just something I love to do. But I can totally understand why people are so intrigued by it.
Well, I think just because most basketballers don't really have too much else. I mean, you have little things going on, but it's just so unique to be able to do that. You've performed at weddings. I think in front of you, actually talk to me about the benefit concert you ran. I think you organised, you performed in, I think for the Ronald McDonald House, maybe. Yep. Talk me through that and how that all came about.
Yeah, so when I was actually at Kentucky, I had an idea to put on a show there because our fans were so much that I knew that it would just go crazy. And a part of college is that you can't make money. So that's where not that my first instinct was to make money, but it just led me down the avenue of charity and giving it elsewhere. And I just kind of had that idea and then just saved it for a while, and eventually went to some people in Kentucky and said, this is the idea I have. I'm very confident we can get this done. And we just put a little group of people together, and it definitely helps being a Kentucky basketball player in Lexington, because you can almost get anything ever done. So we did that, and we went to the house, the Ronald McDonald House, and they were more than happy to get on board and put it all together. And we ended up putting, a whole show on in a massive theater, and we raised, I think, a little over $15,000 for a tiny little Ronald McDonald House on campus in Kentucky. So, and not just the money, but the awareness that it raised for other families that need help, and for the house as well was crazy. And we've now built that partnership, and we had another one planned for May 8th, I think, this year, but we had to cancel it, obviously, because of coronavirus. But we'll continue to do that and just build it to make it bigger and better. And it's just going to be a yearly thing.
It's unreal. Do you get more nervous playing in a big game in front of, I don't know how many thousands of people, or performing on stage, singing? What do you get more nervous? Which one?
I don't really get nervous at all, to be honest. So neither, but it's definitely different. I know basketball so well, and I play in front of thousands of people all the time. So I know that feeling, and I know I can stay in control, and I know I'm all good. But I had never performed a headline show by myself for 800 people in a theater. So I didn't really know how to react, but I wasn't nervous. I just kind of calmed down. It was just the unknown. I think that was a little different, but now that I've done it, I'm sure I'll be fine next time. But yeah, neither. I guess it's just different. I don't know.
I've been told by a very reliable source that you enjoy that Christmas is one of your most enjoyable times of the year. Is that true?
Tommy Garland.
Could he?
Jace, oh my God. So this whole Christmas thing, it's just going to haunt me forever, I think. It's not a thing. I was sitting with Tommy Garland with the Kings ages ago, and we just were talking about Christmas, and I was excited because I hadn't been home for Christmas in years. And apparently that I don't know, is an obsession, but no, I'm just normal with Christmas. I promise. I really don't. I don't, excuse me. I don't have an obsession with Christmas.
I feel like you could make your own, Christmas album, re-sing all this old songs, and
yeah.
I'm sure
that's on the cards for sure.
no question. Also, I think I just read you met John Legend. I'm assuming you probably met a whole bunch of other artists. Drake, potentially. I think he might be a Kentucky Wildcat fan, but meeting these guys and getting to talk to them and spend much time with artists like that.
Yeah, that's been really cool, because obviously I have that music interest, and being around literally the best performers and artists in the world is awesome. I mean, that's purely come through basketball. So I don't know, just they're usually fans of the teams I'm on, or I have a really good little group of friends in LA that are in the music industry who just kind of let me come along with them places, and those places are just massive like big time places with big time people, and you just kind of pick their brains and learn from them. And I don't know, I don't really think too much into that stuff. It's just if it happens, it happens. I don't know.
And then I believe you may have spent a bit of time at J-Lo's house. A little.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah. I Jennifer's a friend through one of those friends in LA, and I just kept getting invited to these things for Jennifer, and I would obviously go, and we just created every time more and more of a connection, and when I'm in LA, I can just pretty much do stuff with them. I don't know how to explain it. It's but yeah, I've spent Christmas with Jennifer in her house, and been over many times and go to her events and all sorts of things. So it's that's pretty cool part. The coolest thing for me is like seeing how the music's all made, to be honest. Yeah. But everyone's into different things.
It seems like just another day for you, like just hanging out with J-Lo on Christmas at a house and stuff, but I guarantee to a lot of people that will listen to this and watch this, they will be extremely jealous. I think it's amazing, man, what you're doing off the court, that stuff, the charity work, and that's not the benefit's not the only stuff you've done. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other charity work and hospital visits, I think, and stuff that you do. So I think that stuff's amazing, man. Obviously, the on-court stuff will speak for itself, but all that other stuff to just raise awareness and money, and even the night you guys had for Cooper and Adelaide, that stuff's amazing and will just affect so many people in a positive way. So that's all I've got for you, man. I appreciate you taking time out. That stuff's amazing to hear, and you'll have a lot of fun in Adelaide, no doubt. Great city, especially when you win. When you lose, there's not too many cheers going on, just quietly.
So I've heard.
When you win, man, it's amazing. It's an amazing place to play. So good luck for the season. We'll catch you once we start up. But, I appreciate you taking time out.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think we can finish this without at least bringing up the little experience that we've had in the past. I have never played with you or anything like that, but the one experience we have is you literally blinding me for a week. And it was crazy, but that was a funny. Do you remember that?
I do not.
You don't remember that?
No.
Damn. Okay, well, I'll walk you through it. So we were playing each other, and I went for a rebound, and you came through and poked me in the eye, and your whole finger went in my eye, and it ripped my retina from the pupil, and it flooded my eye, and I was rushed to hospital like all night. It was crazy, and then I was blind for a whole week. And I was like, what the hell happened here? And I don't know. That was crazy to me. But that's the only memory I have of you, just poking my eye out. So.
Oh, no, awesome. No, that's sweet. Well, I won't do that again. I promise. Well,
it's all good.
Yeah, how good.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
I like to leave lasting memories. So I'm glad that stuck with you for a while. But hopefully this will overtake that one from now on.
Absolutely.
But no, man, I do appreciate it. Like I said, good luck for the season. No doubt we'll catch you throughout and keep doing up that work. Keep posting some more songs, and hopefully we can see a Christmas remake album maybe come out.
Yeah, there's one song on there. I have one Christmas song, but not I don't have an album.
I see that.
We'll get there.
Oh, Holy Night?
Yeah, that's on there.
Well, hopefully we can add some links to this. And do you want to throw out a few little bars before we finish up?
No way.
I know Liam Santa Maria tried to get you to sing a few little bars, a couple of lines, but I thought I'd have a crack.
Nah, it's all good. Not happening, mate.
We'll organise something.
We'll do it properly. That's my thing. I like to do it properly. If we do it properly, then it's sweet. But it's hard to just sing like that.
I understand. But no, man, appreciate it. We'll be in touch soon. But good luck for the season.
Thank you. You too.